would like to welcome you, Rajni. Rajni has worked in nearly every software development role, be it development, testing, DevOps, security, performance, and project/program management in her career so far. And as I said, the topic on which she's going to speak today is testing in the hyperconnected world of IoT. So maybe you can start sharing your screen and then you can get started, Rajni.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Ritu. Shall we start?
Yeah. Please, we are able to see
Sure.
your screen. Yeah, PPT. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, good evening, and hope and I wish everyone is safe and healthy in this pandemic. I would like to thank Global Testing Retreat Conference for giving this opportunity to present at such a large scale with such a wonderful audiences, and I like to thank each one of you who has participated. And I think there are 4 tracks and lots of keynotes, panel discussions are there, and which is very awesome. And most of us are here today because we believe in future of connected world and how to learn as a tester and unlearn as a tester with the new technology and the IoT, blockchain, or whatever future testing is. So we always see a doubt among tester that if everything is automated, then what we should learn, and if everything is done by bots, then what a tester would do. So I'll present not only the future of testing as a hyper-connected world of IoT, how we can test and what a tester should learn so that they can be in the pace of the technology. So I'll start with an incident where with the incident in when I was giving a webinar, I asked everyone that how many of you have worked on smart contract? How many of you worked on smart connected devices or IoT or smart devices? So no one has answered. No one has worked on this IoT things or smart appliances or devices. Then I asked how many of you like smart devices. So answer was everyone. Some of them liked very aware about the usage of smart devices, whether it's Alexa or smart switches are there, and power of smart devices are there. However, everyone cannot afford, like if Apple Watch is there, it giving you ECG also, but everyone cannot afford everything which is there as a smart appliances. And in this pandemic, we have seen the power of IoT solution paid off. Whether it's ensuring air quality, whether it's ensuring the social distancing, or there are drones which has used by Amazon also for public sharing the deliveries, and for public servants also, and ensuring the people are being quarantined or not, if people have wore the mask or not. So we we are seeing that what actually now, if we know what actually hyper-connected world and the current trend of IoT. So I'll tell the hyper-connected world, it's actually a convergence and coexistence of application, user, things, and internet and connected environment. It's a convergence of physical and digital world, or you can say if hardware, software, and internet. So if everything is there, hardware, software, and internet, then can we say that laptop is a IoT device? My mobile phone is a IoT device? No, because the main difference between the IoT devices and the which is hardware, software, and this internet is there in your laptop and mobile phone, is the 3 main difference is the charging. Regular charging is required for your laptop, and regular software upgrades is required, and security patches are updated regularly. So these are not actually smart devices, but we use to operate those smart devices. whether it's a laptop, screen, or mobile phone. So let's try to understand what this really convergence mean. We are already living in a world where number of IoT devices are more than world population. Not only the study from Gartner, but also Gartner also suggests that 40 to 80 billions of devices will be by 2025. And who doesn't believe on the reports of a Gartner? Can we really solve the problem with technology? Like Cisco has introduced a smart parking system. However, they have not understood that how user can use that. So if we can say that smart parking system, they take the cameras take or sensors take the size and width of the car, but they doesn't estimate it or predict it that people can use with a log or with some other thing so that they can predict what parking system is there. So sometime and many times we have seen that with the IoT, productions are getting more failures than in real situation, which we see as a success story. So some of the issues which makes into production is the device issue, such as upgrades is not there, compatibility issues, whether my it compatible with my device or not, network issues are there, bandwidth, channel usage, and services are issues, business usage, whether my product is for business usage or not, can we predict the user's requirement, can we also use it as to avoid the budget run, whether we have or not, and the user issue, sometimes user unable to understand the proper usage and real world situation there. So how this impact of failure go as small as counting steps and incorrect monitoring of a blood pressure to as a life threatening. For example, there are some of the uncertainties of IoT, like Tesla has introduced, and they need to bring call off all their Model S touchscreen failure because it was not giving correct result. Honda had to recall 6 lakh vehicles for faulty software. There are Fitbit. If you talk about Fitbit or any health monitoring devices, then it is very risky for a human, health hazardous, and it is very risky for a human because it's a life threatening. So you need to be correct and accurate for these devices, if not 100%, but 95 to 90 to 95% accuracy is required. And there are other examples. Drone knocks out all Hollywood resident there without knowing the which direction they need to go. So that is why we can say, needless to say, that how important and crucial a testing play in hyperconnected world of IoT. Here in IoT, we can not succeed by using conventional method of testing. Like there is a web app, we will do API testing, we will do front end testing, and then we have a UI and we have a user experience. We need to work every connected devices. Like we have seen that what are challenges we can face in a hyper-connected world. It's a diversity in apps and devices. Network channels are there and wide range of protocol, whether it's MQTT, COAPP is there or Zigbee is protocol, interfaces and services are there to ensure that your device is running continuously, because if something is not running continuously, you cannot monitor and track, and you cannot send an alert and notification. So most of them are need to be continuous in nature of appliances or devices due to many interconnected hypersystem. Like in the example which I'll show in a smart irrigation system, it also has a various device network communication channel which needs to be a part of a testing, and it needs to be part unit testers also integrated, and system integration should be there. So it needs to be work seamlessly with other interconnected devices and close coupling of hardware and software component. So performance is also very important. If my performance is not good, if I take example of street lamps, if you need to capture all the data and matrices for the switches which is there in street lamp, then it required large bandwidth. It required CPU usage is required, and only Bluetooth cannot work. Wi-Fi cannot be integrated with all the smart devices. So what are the options? How we can test it? We'll see that. So this is the use case which I have taken at home only. This with a prototype smart irrigation system, where we can see that how we can check the crop health assistance, which works as a crop health assistant, and for self-watering system, and monitoring the crop, whether it's a what is the humidity, temperature, and the moisture level. And we can also spray those fertilizer through crop spraying, and planting can be done with these smart devices. So how we can work this? There is a sensor layer from where the data is collected. If you can see the architecture, there is a sensor, or if other IoT kind of thing is an actuator. So in this prototype, we have used the soil moisture and humidity and thermometer, where all the data is captured, and it is saved in Arduino microcontroller. It also has connected with the relay, which will switch on, switch off based on the notification and alert. What is the current temperature? What is the current humidity? And it will switch on, switch off the motor. So it is connected with internet, and then all the data is stored at cloud storage, and you can also add AI here and data analytics, and you can use this on smart devices. Why we are saying that it needs to be collected at cloud storage, and we need to take a privilege of edge AI technology, because within sensor capturing every data in a microseconds or within seconds, the lot of data is captured. How we are drawing and optimizing all those data testing, and how we are doing the mining, extraction, feature extraction from those data, and then using as creating the model and assessing that model and tracking that, and then sending an alert to user also, and sending notification that now water system has been switch on, switch off, and what you need to do, what is the humidity, how we can send an alert. So in this example, I have recorded this because there are a lot of hardware and software is there. So currently, when sensor is captured, is moisture level is -87. So we have used Arduino board, Arduino IDE, where put on the pin mode, where sensor is connected, and a delay of 20 seconds is taken, and there is an output which from sensor output. And we have also fixed threshold is added here, that once it's a minus 100 value, or -10, 100 is there, 87 is there, means moisture is less and you need to pump the water. So you can see this, and when I'll run this through this it is connected through system. There is a soil in that jar, and it is connected to Arduino Uno, and it is connected with the board where water is also there, relay is there, and you can see the power, the 5 volt. So once I have used earlier the ESP, but due to high voltage it has got short circuited. So this is a relay which is connected here. I'm showing because the one mistake again I have done is the negative positive thing, connected wire. So we need to take care of all these minute thing while doing IoT testing. So this is a real testing which is done, and we need to test each and every device. How can we say that this sensor is working correctly? How we sample all those sensors? How we sample the temperature thermometer? So you need to test it with different environment condition, whether it's a humidity, whether it's a water, rainy, in closed room, or in outside your room. So you need to test this device in every environment condition, and with different third party. like Arduino also, you can use ESP also. This is a motor pump which is very small for at home, but we can create it for bigger for correct or suitable position also, suitable thing machine also. Now you can see all the output, and it will also give you the moisture level from 87 to 26. See the output, minus 85. Sensor will be captured and it will be lesser. Okay. What all equipment has been used is the Arduino Uno as a microcontroller board, and soil moisture sensor is there. Water pump is used, and relay module, and there is a switch which is connecting with the relay. So code which I have run is the sensor pin output, serial output, delay is there, and what output, if output is greater than some threshold, you will send high or low, and also you can put on and off here. So you can do manually on from web page also, you can do automatic also by creating alert, a threshold there, and creating a switch there. So some of the challenges which I have faced while doing this prototype testing is trusting on the hardware. How I can trust on a sensor or hardware thermometer. So we need to do sampling with different environment condition, with different types of thermometer which is available, different sensor available in market. You need to recreate the actual environment, like using simulator, emulator, or creating a digital twin for IoT testing. IBM has also provided Bluemix, and Azure has provided digital twin environment, and in heterogeneous devices and connectivity is required. Here in a small prototype only, you have seen 5-6 devices has been included here. And if it is integrated with some application, it will be more software and hardware integration. How sensor and camera device is buffering, how we can monitor the device battery consumption, what are the consumption, how we can monitor. So we can use currently we have a more optimized device, and batteries are coming now, where it gives you the self alerting system that now battery is going low, you can replace it. And there are different protocols there in network configuration and performance of IoT of our devices. So this all these we can we face these challenges, and we can resolve it by doing the embedded testing and simulation testing. Firmware testing is also there, and prediction algorithm with the high accuracy is there, and for everything as a estimation also, and for any big project, what we have seen in a panel discussion also, for a large automation thing, we need to separate out step by step. You need to break your first you need to do device testing, unit level, integration level, and then go to end-to-end testing. And the most important is the monitoring. You need there are batteries which I said that it is enabled with the lifespan, predicted lifespan, that it will gives you alert alarm that now it's a low dropout, and you can change it. There are Wi-Fi protocols which need to be tested. You can also write a smart contract for distributed environment, which will validate your message. Like if I'm saying that lots of data is coming from sensor, then how we can do this, how we can validate the data integrity, how we can optimize those testing. So there are different ways of testing data also. So IoT is nothing but a combination of data testing, AI testing, and the hardware testing, software testing. So there are different methods also, which I said, that diversity in application and diversity in devices, protocol. So combinatorial testing can be done. So some of the methodology and approach and process which we'll discuss in this IoT testing is first we need to identify the use case, because in IoT there are very with the use case there is a strategy is changed. Like if I'm testing a flying system object, flying devices, the drone kind of thing, and AR VR thing, and the sensor actuator thing. So your approach would be differentiated. That is why we cannot say that there is a robust testing strategy for IoT application. So first we need to identify your use case, then build a prototype against it, and a small to end-to-end testing strategy you need to create, whether you need to collect data, configure, manager, and optimize it, and then adapt and reinvent what are the fallbacks, how you can improve it, and how you can work on it with the predictive and prescriptive dashboards, analytics, and notification. You need to focus majorly on user experience here. So these are the areas which we can test, and this is from website only, but there is a difference here is the intelligence layer, where we need to take collect all the data network, and we need to validate using edge AI technology, cognitive testings here, and security testing majorly for data. Then only we can say that my device is not vulnerable, and we can rely on that device. Service layer, where APIs functional testing can be done, and application layer, which is the user facing, where you can do usability and user experience testing and compatibility testing. Interoperability testing can be is required for multiple users and devices there. So this is a detailed approach where how we are creating a test bed for small unit, a remote distributed, a scalable automated confirmation testing, and semantic validation is there. Some of the tools which we can do for with the list of types of testing which you are using, like IoTify is there, and Arduino, where you can write a code, and test projects also there now for front end, multiple devices, multiple Android and iOS testing. Network testing by Shark is the open source, and TCP dump is there. And combinatorial testing and pairwise testing is important here. ACTS is the, and confirmation, we can create a test bed and simulators there. If you're using AI here for creating a pattern of a data, you can use accuracy and you can test the performance by using Google enabled a tool, which is what if tool. So what is the role of a tester here changes? You need to be more focused about the user, just not finding the bug, you need to prevent it. And some of the testing which they need to understand the data. So deciphering the way we test data earlier, only valid and invalid we used to test. Now we need to test the source, destination, the transformation, the rules and business logic, and the business rules which we have added, the integrity of data. And hardware testing, we have never done hardware testing, but now if you see the hardware, you need to test it, you need to work on it. And the conformance testing is there, embedded testing is important, and cognitive testing, wherever model is required, speech to text or NLP thing is there, we can do all the multi-language testing here, and smart testing from cognitive automation, and interoperability combinatorial testing, which needs to be included for AI testing or future testing. We need to work on all these. Some of the recommendation which we think is the data, technology, and security. These are the four pillars for any IoT, and we can see without scalable technology and insightful data, robust security, and engaging UX. So if everything is correct, but your user experience is not good, then it's a not very efficient application or device you have. So these four things you need to keep in mind before developing any IoT application or devices. Some of the takeaways is that we need to understand the context, work on step-by-step action. Nothing can be done end-to-end in IoT without having in unit and integration level. Focus more on hardware and interoperability testing, because we mostly do the software kind of testing, and hardware testing and integration is somewhat uncovered till now for us. And most of our solution is modular to reusable and maintainable thing, and here mass based testing is required, a statistical thing you need to understand. Follow the cycle, innovate, adapt, and optimize. So I'm done from my side. You can
Thank
view
you.
all the, yeah,
Yeah,
all the documents here in Genus of Testing, and any question I'm open
it
to
was
answer.
it was an amazing session, especially the demo part of it. We liked it so much, Rajni. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Ritu.
yeah. And we do have questions for you. So let me quickly share my screen. I hope you are able to see these questions.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So the first one is, what additional skills are needed for a software tester to test IoT related devices or softwares?
So for IoT, first we have a data, and the data which which we have been testing earlier traditionally is not the same, and that is why a small Python utilities has been written in for data testing, and I have also written a blog around this, deciphering the way we test data. So Python would be the basic language where you need to learn and test the data. Hardware testing is required, and embedded and firmware testing is important. So these four things which we were not doing earlier, and now we need to do. What is the protocol used to transfer data from sensor in the MQTT?
Okay.
There are other is Zigbee also, and COAP is there. However, MQTT is used more because it is consuming less bandwidth.
The next
How
one
to
is, how
test that?
difficult is it to manage the maintenance of the code, huge amount of data, firmware changes in
Very
IoT?
difficult. That is why I have given in takeaway also that you need to take everything step by step. If one is done, then only you need to move to next. And now in this pandemic, this is very difficult to set up a environment. So you cannot set up at one tester home. You need everyone. That is why cloud is getting more and more in right now, because on cloud we are using same software of that device and then integrating it. So it is very difficult.
Okay. The next one is, how can we performance test the responsiveness of IoT systems, including the hardware optimally, especially considering that there is a network delay? When there is a network delay, he would like to say, I think.
So in performance, it is very difficult. First of all, the hardware performance is required. So you need to identify the protocol for the devices, which protocol is used in that device. Analyze the device traffic. So here you can use Fiddler and Wireshark to analyze what all traffic is coming there, and create a test environment there, simulate the load, and then monitor the servers. So once you monitor the servers that each request from protocol is coming and on traffic, and then only you can analyze and report the and retest it. So first you need to understand which protocol your device is using, and again we have lots of devices. So you need to integrate all the different protocols and then test.
Okay, there is one more question from Ajay. What is the smallest successful project you have been involved in? The reason he is going to ask to you this is it seems so much to do with all those things.
Yes, we have also been working in AR VR thing currently, which is also a type of IoT. And one of the most famous which Nagarro has presented at global level is the cookie factory, where you identify whether the cookie has been is good or bad, what is the color, whether it's a um, burnt or it is good to go. So one is the which Nagaro has globally presented, and there are lots of other testing going on. 3D printing is also coming in IoT thing, so we are working on that also. The smart irrigation which is done for this session only. So I've simulated all the devices and integrated at home.
To know all of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Next one is, are there any security specific standards or regulations for IoT?
Yes, there is like for devices only. Whether if we are saving data, then we need to, because of governance and this security compliances. So if I am saving data, whether it's capturing some regular data which is not can be captured, whether if I am integrating with different third device, whether my data is vulnerable or not. The
Mhm.
compliance is exact name I don't know currently.
Okay, but we do have some
Yeah,
compliance.
GDPR is the one compliance for data only,
Yeah.
which we are following.
Mhm. Okay, the next one is, how do we test the protocol MQTT implementation itself? There are several implementations of MQTT servers. Are there?
So there are various tools, Balaji. There are various tools. If you are using bar, this IoT is the tool where you can use this, and there are tools which is MATLAB. Through MATLAB you can also simulate it, and through Simulink is also there, where you can devise all these protocol. Bevy-wise is the IoT simulator where you can integrate this and you can test the protocols there. And IBM from enterprise version, IBM Bluemix is there. So using tools we can test all these.
Okay, so Balaji, probably you can explore on those tools later. Probably the last one, how easy it is to capture the data transfer from IoT devices to do any testing.
It can be captured depends on what are the sources of your data and how you are going to transform it. What is the frequency level? So first the collection, ingestion, and then processing is required. So all these three, if you are clear about the strategy, how we are doing this, what is the frequency, which all tools you are using, is it open source, whether it's coming from different sources, different types, whether it's structured or non-structured. So it all depends. That is why there's one basic thing for IoT is that first you need to know what is the business use case, then what all technology the enablers, the technology skills and resources, then only we identify how the strategy would be. So it is very diverse. In IoT is still diverse in itself.
So it's
So
not going to be a straightforward thing. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, and it is dependent on use case and technology which we are using. So if I can say that I have used Kafka as a consumer producer, I've used Spark there. Earlier we are using Cassandra, now we are using Druid because it is taking ad hoc requests. So how we are doing all these testing?
Yeah, tomorrow, if there is going to be huge amount of data, then probably you would like to go ahead with Azure
For
IoT Hub or
performance
something
also, we
else.
have done a very difficult situation. In 1 hour, we have 10 GB of data. So testing all those is very difficult to first to create that environment and generate that much of data, and then processing it for JMeter. We have used JMeter. So Kafka has provided plugin for JMeter, and then we have tested all those.
Okay.
can I suggest something here? There is one pending one from Ajay. He asked earlier question. There is one follow back, and may I recommend something here, guys? Rituraj, can you just bring that up? I think Ajay is asking what is the smallest successful project you have been involved, time taken wise.
Time
I think she
taken.
mentioned about the cookie factory and everything, but
Yeah,
was
that
it
is
like
in Go
uh,
on Google also. You'll find if you search for Cookie Factory Nagarro demo, you'll find all details there.
So
What all technology we have used.
sure, sure. I think, guys, can we have a video opportunity? And while there are things here, we can all share our video here, and you can unmute yourself and speak, guys. It was a wonderful session, Rajni. Amazing learning for all of us. Let me also bring my video. Ajay and everybody, if you want to interact, I think we should. Thank you so much for participating in this session. Great that Brijesh also is here. A lot of other people are there. Great session we had, guys. So you can unmute yourself, you can show up yourself, and let's see if there are any questions for Rajni. Since we are in break, we are extending it by a few minutes and then we can wrap up. Okay.
Right. So thank you. Thanks, Aditya and Rajni. So the question, Rajni, was more on the lines of what is the minimum time for that successful project, for a IoT successful project?
So again, Ajay, again, I will say that it will depend on use case. If I am taking AR VR thing, so it's more on software and it will not require a lot of integration. Okay, so it will be more than and again, you if you'll ask, I'll give estimated time that it will take 5,000 hours. Then person, it depends on person days. Okay, so if my business partner is looking for a quicker solution, we can include 50 people and then make that solution available. But it all depends on the use case, skills, technology which we are integrating. I'll give you the if I'll give example of this AR VR solution. We have done in almost 6 months. Why 6 months? Because there were not no skills available that time. It's almost 3 years back I'm talking about. If I give my example, what I have done in here as a smart irrigation system, it was just a prototype to understand what is involved here to test week only, because first you need to understand what all protocol included, what all communication is there, what data is coming and what you need to test. So it depends on how deeply you are testing.
Got it. Thanks. The reason why I asked is we have been so much used to this non-IoT testing that we could estimate saying, oh, okay,
Estimation,
2 weeks,
yes,
3 weeks.
I understand your estimation thing, and we have also faced this challenge that how we can give the estimation to business partner that how much time we will take because we do not have previous experiences. So it depends how we have done this by dividing all the functional requirement and the technology and types of testing which we have which will do or types of integration which will do depends on that and number of cycles we will test. So then you can estimate and we can I can love to discuss more on this if you have any use case.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, great session, guys. I think Rajni, you can see the interactions going on. People are staying back in the break as well. I was really enthralled. One of the very few sessions, at least, that we have witnessed that it was really amazing. In fact, all the sessions are good, so don't get me wrong, guys. But this was something
I
right
follow
up there. Yeah.
I think he has lost a lot of weight now. I think on LinkedIn I follow Ajay.
Ajay has got a different bandit look.
I don't-
Oh, Corona, so no, not going outside. So
Yeah, no, I we know. All
Thanks a
right.
lot,
So, yeah,
Aditya.
thank you so
Thanks.
much. I think we can have that round of applause for Rajni here. It was amazing, guys. See, the best we can do, Rajni, is to give you that kind of feeling that you are in a real room here. I wish there was a room here and we could actually just applaud. Keep on applauding for you. Standing ovation is what I think you deserve here. Very
No,
nice.
no, no, thanks. Thanks, Aditya, for giving this
I
opportunity.
can't
This
stand up. I'm not wearing trousers. हाँ इसलिए मैं बैठे बैठे वाला. Just kidding.
same here, same here.
But good, awesome, guys. I think we are having a great session. Thank you so much, Rajni. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rajni.
Thank you. Thank you, Aditya.
Thank you,
thank you.
Rajni.
Guys, and give the feedback. I think the feedback link is up for Rajni. It would be motivating for her. Thank you so much, guys.